So good morning, you guys. So we got Math 1, second day of class, and I have prepared a little agenda for you guys to take a quick look at. So I'm going to start sharing that with you. So we're going to start off, and what I'm going to do, just because it will kind of help me learn everybody's names, is I'm going to call roll, which I won't do every time. It's just as I kind of get to know you guys a little bit more. So right now I'm trying to get you guys all on my big screen so that I can see everybody's faces while I share screen. Okay. Let's see. So, oops, that's the end of my presentation. Let me start at the beginning of it. Hang on a second. I'm not very good at this. I thought I had it ready. And now I have lost that screen, of course. Okay, give me just a second. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties, don't mind me. Okay. Okay, now I'm ready to share with you guys the agenda. There we go. And let me do this too so that I can, okay. So I'm going to call attendance first, and then we're going to take a look at the statistics vocabulary that you guys did for me. I think it was actually not last week, but the week before. And so if you want to have your statistics vocabulary document open and add anything to it, you can. I would also recommend make sure you at least have a pencil and paper ready, because we are, there's going to be some important things I'll tell you there that should help. And then we are going to redo the pizza survey. So anybody that did the pizza survey before, we're going to do it again, just because I want to make sure we collect information from everybody that's here. And then we'll do a couple other things together. So I cannot see everybody's face right now. And in the view that I'm in, I can't tell. It's just an A that's there. So I need to make sure, you need to make sure your video is on, please. Let's see. Remember, if you can't be here, if you have to step away from the screen, you need to ask permission, please. All right. So there's going to be quite a few people, I think, that are not here right now because of the fact that people are having a hard time getting in today. So hopefully that will get worked out. So when I call your name, if you could please unmute yourself and just say hello and wave at me, then it makes it easier for me to find you faster, and then I can get through the roll a little bit quicker. So Ashley, are you here? Where's Ashley? Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Ashley. And I saw Nevaeh already. Eric, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Eric. How about Elaine? How about Elliot? Alana? TC? Oriana? JC? Sergio?
I'm here.
Who was that? Sergio. Gotcha. Thanks, Sergio. Allison?
Here.
Thank you, Allison. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Kaylee? Keely? I guess I'll find out another time. Giovanni?
Here.
Okay, wave at me, Giovanni. Oh, okay. I need to see your whole face in the screen, please. Sophia? That's
Hi.
better. Thank you, Giovanna. Where's Sophia? Can you wave at me?
Hey.
Thank you. Gotcha. Elijah, I know I saw you wave at me so I can see you again. Where's Elijah? I can't find you, Elijah. Elijah, can you unmute yourself? Did you get booted out? Aren't you still here? Huh. Okay, well, I know I saw him before. Where am I? How about Skylar? How about Antonio?
Here.
Thank you, Antonio. And then I talked to Addison and Lily. Can Addison and Lily just wave at me again real quick, please? Thank you. Alyssa? Okay. Diego? Drew?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Thank you, Drew. Caitlin?
Here.
Thank you. Wyatt? Okay, don't see Wyatt. Robert? Don't see Robert. Alejandro?
Here.
Okay, wave at me, Alejandro. There you are. Thank you. Joseph, I know I saw you. You can just wave at me. Thank you. Jack, you can just wave at me. Thank you. Kalila? Thought I saw Kalila come in. No, okay. Hunter.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Hunter. Ashley, this is Ashley Torres.
Here.
There you are, thank you. Ashley, can I see more of your face, please, in the screen? Araceli?
Here.
Where's Araceli? Wave at me, Araceli. There you are, thank you. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm just gonna say the names again real fast that I missed, and you can speak up if I missed you. Elaine, Elliot, Alana, TC, Oriana, JC, Keely or Kaylee, Skylar, Alyssa, Diego, Wyatt, Robert, Kalila, and I think that's it. Did I miss anybody? Ooh, I have somebody else waiting to come in. How exciting. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at that statistics vocabulary. And so I'm going to stop sharing so that I can show that to you real quick. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Okay, JC, welcome. I'm glad you made it. Okay, JC, let me make sure I got you. JC, can you tell me about your experience logging in this morning so that I can try to help people next time?
Well, it was kind of confusing at first, but then I figured out I could just like sign in with Zoom, like over Google or something, and then it let me in that way.
Okay, but it was a little confusing, I know, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so again, you might want to have paper and pencil open right now or ready to go. You may want to have your stats vocabulary open. And we are going to take a look at the stats vocabulary from last week. I have TC that just got in here too now, so that's good. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Welcome, TC. Glad you made it. Was it tricky figuring out how to get in this morning?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm glad you figured it out, and hopefully now that you've gotten in this Zoom, it won't be any trouble getting into the other ones in the future. Okay, let's see here. I need to, let me see if I can get back to this and do it this way. Okay, I can't even see the screen that you guys are looking at right now. Bear with me, guys, having technical difficulties here. Are you guys seeing that agenda screen still? Okay, so now I want to show you guys, I just wanted to talk about this vocabulary, and I think you guys are seeing this vocabulary screen now, right? Can you guys give me a thumbs up? You're looking at the vocabulary screen? Okay, thanks. So this is going to be really important, is understanding the difference between qualitative and quantitative. And so again, this is something where I think you should probably either write things down or maybe add to your definitions from last week. So I took a couple of, this is not my work, this is student work that you guys are getting to see. I stole it from some students that I thought did a good job. And so the difference between qualitative and quantitative is pretty important. Quantitative, I think, is the easier one to make sure you understand, because when you hear quantity, that means like how many of something, right? And so when you have quantitative data, that's always going to be numbers. An answer to a question will always be like how many of something there are. And then qualitative data is, like it says there, using words and language, but it's also often referred to as categorical data. So instead of having data that is numbers, it might be like, what's your favorite color? And you would answer blue, or what's your favorite type of animal, right? And you would say a cat or a dog. And so again, the difference between qualitative and quantitative is pretty important right now. As you look down here, I think looking at everybody's vocabulary, everybody did a great job understanding what a pie chart was, what a bar graph was, what a histogram was, but I do want to talk about a couple of things. The one thing that I want to start with is which ones are qualitative and which ones are quantitative. Let's see, I need your videos on. Somebody with an E just popped up, so make sure that you guys keep your videos on, please. Thank you. And I need to see your face in the video. Remember, you need to ask if you need to leave. So just keep that in mind. I can see you, or at least I can see your screens. And that person that turned their video on just now, I can't see your face in there. So if you would please come into the screen, I would appreciate that. All right, I'll find you later. Okay, so there you are, thank you. Okay, so pie charts, bar graphs, and the frequency charts, those are all qualitative. You can answer with a number, or with a color, or with an animal. You can answer with a word, okay? So again, that's the frequency charts or dot plots, and then the pie charts and bar graphs. Those are all qualitative, okay? And that's how those measure, those things measure things that are categorical, that you would answer with a word. The histogram, line graph, and box plots, and actually the frequency charts and dot plots, those are all quantitative, where your answer would be, or your data would all be numbers. So like the number of pets that you have, that kind of thing. Those are all represented in histograms, line graphs, box plots. And then again, that frequency chart and the dot plot, that can represent either. You can see here, I've got numbers as the data here and words as the data here, so that you guys could see that those frequency charts and dot plots, those are good for either type of data, quantitative or qualitative. Okay. And then the other thing I want to talk about that's going to be important as we go forward is the difference between a bar graph and a histogram, because they look pretty similar. Don't you guys think? Everybody give me a thumbs up. The bar graph and the histogram are pretty similar looking, right? This tells me that you're paying attention when you put a thumb up when I ask you something. Okay, thanks. So the bar graph is qualitative. Again, it's going to be an answer that's a word, whereas the histogram is quantitative, where it's going to be numbers. And even more specifically than that, The histogram will normally be a range of numbers. So you don't see it on this particular histogram here, but it might be, you know, between 5 and 10 pounds, and then between 10 and 15 pounds, and so on, okay? So again, the histogram is usually for intervals of values, okay? And you will see those intervals along the bottom. And because of that, the histogram will have the bars always stacked up right next to each other. So they're touching. Those bars in a histogram will be touching, okay? And again, these are things that are important for you to either add to this statistics vocabulary that we did, or to write down on a piece of paper so that you will remember these things, okay? So again, the big things to take away is what's the difference between qualitative and quantitative? Which of the different types of graphs are qualitative? Which ones are quantitative? And then what's the difference between the histogram and the bar graph? Does everybody feel like they understand that okay? Or does anybody want to ask a question about that at this point? Anybody need me to say any of that again? How are we feeling about that? We good with those three things? Okay, some people it looks like are writing, and that's okay, but everybody else is giving me a thumbs up, which I appreciate. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here to my agenda. We did the review the stats vocabulary. Now I'm going to have you guys take the pizza survey again. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to put the link to this in the chat. And so I would like you guys to take that pizza survey again as soon as I can figure out how to find the chat while I'm sharing a screen, which I think I'll just stop sharing so that I can just put it right in the chat to everybody. Okay, and so you should see the link to the pizza survey there in the chat. So if you click on that link, that will open up another window. It is just one quick question. And I think when we did this the first time, Elijah pointed out that I forgot combination pizza, and you're right, Elijah. And I thought about adding it, but I've already got another document that has the pizza types on it. So I just left it. So pick your next favorite if combination's your favorite. And if I missed any other favorites, then just pick your whatever on that list is your favorite. Okay, and while you guys are doing that, I am going to, oh, I should have had this open. I'm gonna have to find that real quick. And we are going to be using this data to do today's assignment, actually. Pizza. Okay. All right, so I currently have 21 of you guys in class, and I have responses from 16 so far. So if you have not yet submitted your response to the pizza data survey, please get that in there. Don't forget, you do have to hit submit at the bottom. So once you pick your favorite, you do have to hit submit at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm gonna share those results with you guys in just a couple of minutes here. Let me go back to sharing my agenda screen with you guys as you are finishing up your pizza data survey. Is anybody having any trouble accessing that pizza data survey, or did that all go okay? Give me a thumbs up if it went okay. You put in your choice for pizza? Give me a thumbs up if you put in your choice for pizza. All right. Okay, thanks guys. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to take a look at some pie charts, and I'm gonna have you guys, this is gonna help you with the assignment that we're doing today. So in the chat, you guys are gonna respond to this here. Oh, and I might have to figure out how to get the chat up now. Oh, I think I can do that over here. There we go. Okay, so you guys will respond to these questions just to me. So in the chat, if everybody would open up the chat where it says, if it says everyone, you'll find me, Leslie Grassl, and you're just going to write your responses to me so that everybody doesn't see your responses. Okay. So answer the following in the chat. The first question is, what degree angle is shaded? So how many degrees is that? That's the first question. How many degrees is that? So like, is it 45 degrees? Is it 90 degrees? Is it 180 degrees? Is it 360 degrees? Okay. And then the second question I'd like you to answer is, what percent of the circle is shaded? Okay. So of the whole circle, what percent of that is shaded? Okay. And again, this one is a little bit easier to estimate. You guys are just going to be estimating this. Okay. And as you guys are finishing entering your answers there, thank you to everybody that's doing it. I'm seeing lots of answers come through, which is great. And remember, it's an estimate. So if you didn't get the exact answer, that doesn't mean you're wrong. I'm asking you just to estimate. So the number of degrees, because it is a right angle, right? It's a right angle, that's 90 degrees. Okay, 180 degrees would make a straight angle. And then 360 degrees would be the whole circle, right? So that's 90 degrees. And if you didn't put an answer yet, get that 90 degrees in there. Okay, last chance to put in the answer to question 2. And if you guys would put a number 2 next to it so that I have a few more questions, but for the future so that we know which one you're answering. What percent of the circle is shaded? Okay, so for number 2, you're going to tell me what percent of the circle is shaded, and quite a few people have answered this already. And so the answer to that is, and I'll show you guys how I am thinking this could go. You could go 2 like this, and then 25%. It is a quarter of the circle, and so that's 25%. And you see how I have the 2 with the parenthesis there to separate it. If you put a decimal, it kind of looks like 2.25. Okay, so again, because it's a quarter of the circle, right? Imagine that circle being broken up into 4 equal parts, and that's 1/4, which would be 1/4 or 25%. Okay, next question. Take a look at this next one here. We're going to do the same thing, but again, please put a number 3 next to your first answer and number 4 next to your second answer. How many degrees would you say this is? And again, it's just an approximate. It is totally okay to be wrong. How many degrees do you see here? Let's see, I need to see everybody's chin to forehead, please. I'm only seeing some nose ups, and I like to see your whole faces. And I know as you start working, you might kind of sink down a little bit, but try to keep your whole face up in that screen for me. Let me see your mouth too. I can't see your names on your screens right now, so I can't call you out. So just take a look. If your mouth isn't showing, please make sure your mouth is showing. Okay, so on my screen here, how many degrees is this? What would you call that? Green angle here. And then the fourth question, approximately what percent of the circle is that? Okay, good. I'm getting lots of answers here. Okay, so again, keeping in mind that the whole circle is 360 degrees. Okay, if the whole circle is 360 degrees, how much would half of the circle be? It would be half of 360, which is what?
180.
180.
Good, 180, thank you. So this is a little bit more than half. And so anybody that guessed a little bit more than 180 degrees was correct. So maybe 200 degrees or maybe 190 degrees, right? Somewhere in that range would be correct. And then keeping that in mind, what percent of the circle is shaded? And again, it's a little bit more than half, right? And so because it's a little bit more than half, that would be a little bit more than 50%. Good. So I'm seeing some answers that are 52, 55, 60. Those are all great answers. I think my estimate was about 55%, but those answers are all looking great. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Now we're going to do one last one. And again, this is to help you with the assignment that we're doing later today. Same questions as before, but now with just this tiny little piece here. So first, how many degrees is that angle? And then what percent of the whole circle is? Keeping in mind that 360 is all the way around, 180 degrees is halfway around, 90 degrees is a quarter of the way, right? Okay, so about how many degrees is that angle? Good, seeing some good answers there. And then about what percent of the circle is shaded? Okay, and again, we know it's not 100% because that would be the whole circle. We know it's not 50% because that would be half of the circle. We know it's not 90% because that would be a quarter of the circle. Okay, and so I think I estimated this for those of you, get your answers in because I'm about to reveal my answers. I said, see if I can remember. This was 30 degrees. And I think I figured that that was probably about 15 to 20% of the circle that was shaded. Okay, so if your answers were around that, you did an awesome job. And if not, it's just a matter of estimating. Again, you know it's less than 90 degrees because it's less than that right angle there. You know it's less than a 25% because it's less than a quarter of the circle. So yeah, probably closer to 15% because that's less than half of the 90. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna take a quick look behind me here. I put the schedule. I wanna see how I'm doing time-wise. We have until 9:50. I got lots of time and I'm hoping to finish a little bit early so that you guys have some time to work on the assignment and maybe finish it before you have your next class. Okay, so I will take a look at those chat answers later. So hopefully everybody got their responses in there. And now that we've done that, we are going to start today's assignment together. So you guys are going to, don't go anywhere yet, but you're gonna go to Google Classroom and you're gonna open up today's assignment document. So you each have your own copy of it. And you are going to add our class information to it. And so our class information is what I have in here. And it looks like I don't have everybody's responses. I still only have 18, but I'll show you guys this when we get to that page and you guys will add those in there. And then on a piece of paper, okay, so you're gonna use paper and pencil and you're gonna draw yourself the graphs that I'm asking you to draw on here. And then you're going to use some sort of app on a phone. You could also use the camera on your computer, but if you have a phone, that really works the best. And using an app from a phone works really well. So that Scannable app or Cam Scanner, those are good apps for taking pictures that you can then upload and add them to the document. Okay, so again, you're going to take a picture of your images, take a picture of your work and insert that picture into the document itself. And if you are having any issues, just do the best you can. Whatever you can make work is totally fine. And then I just want to remind you guys that all assignments are due on the day they're assigned at midnight. So make sure you get it finished and don't forget to hit the turn in button when you're done. Okay, so everybody should be in Google Classroom now. Okay, here was the stream where you can see there's lots of people that left messages that had a hard time getting in. And I want you guys to go over to the classwork tab, open up that pizza data assignment, and there should be the favorite pizza 2020 Google Doc that you should open. And so there'll be a copy for you there. And I have a copy open for myself here already. And we are going to write in here directly. So you can click directly into this table here at the top and we're gonna now add this information. Okay, so here we are. And I'm gonna refresh just to make sure there aren't any others. Uh-oh, What have I done now? Okay, here we go. So there were 8 people that liked pepperoni. So I'm going to come back over to my document and I'm going to find pepperoni and I'm going to put an 8 in there. There were 5 people that liked the meat lovers. So I'm going to come back over to my document. I'm going to put a 5 in there. There were 4 people that liked cheese the best. There was 1 mushroom and olive. Mushroom and olive, olive and mushroom, mushroom and olive, same thing. Vegetarian and Hawaiian. Were there any responses for vegetarian and Hawaiian? Let's see, I might have to. Okay, so it must be that there were nobody that liked those. And I'll confirm that in just a second. So you can put that there. You can put zeros in for the Hawaiian and for the vegetarian so that we know that there was nobody that liked those. Okay, and we're going to do a couple of different things. You guys are basically going to create two of the graphs for me. The first thing we're going to do is do the pie chart. The pie chart I think is a little bit harder of the two, and so I thought we could start doing that one together. And so to start with, we're going to put the frequency in here again. So how many cheese? How many pepperoni? Oops, I think I missed. And so on. And I am going to pause for just a second and make sure everybody is good. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you've got those numbers in your table? Let me see everybody's thumbs up. You got your numbers in your table. Okay, and again, if you're having any technical difficulty, just do it by hand on paper with pencil. Okay. Okay, so then we have to figure out the percentage. And in order to figure out the percentage, we're going to take the frequency, so the number of people that liked something, and divide it by the total number. So in order to figure out the percent of people that liked cheese, I'm going to do 4 divided by, and then I need to figure out what the total is. And it should be 18 because that's what I looked at over here. There were 18, but we should add this up just to make sure. So if you add up the 4 plus the 8 plus the 5 plus the 1, does that in fact add up to 18? So that's something you can check. And when I divide that, does anybody have a calculator handy or know what 4/18 is equivalent to? That would
0.2 repeating.
0.2 repeating, is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Is that Elijah? I couldn't tell who was talking. Thank you. Okay, so 0.2 repeating, which would be equal to what percent? And I'm actually going to make this column a little bit bigger because I'm showing my work there. So 0.22, which is equal to what percent? Move that decimal over 2 places.
22.
Good job. 22%. Okay. All right, so you'll do that for each of them. You'll figure out what is 8 divided by 18 to get the percent for pepperoni. You'll do 5 divided by 18 to get the percent for meat lovers, and so on. And now I want to talk about how to figure out the central angle for your pie chart, because that's like the 90 degrees that we looked at, or the roughly 30 degrees that we looked at, okay, so that we know about how big the piece of the pie should be. So, how many degrees make a full circle? Do you guys remember? How many degrees in a full circle?
360.
All right, so many people are chiming in. I love it. Good job, you guys. So I'm going to multiply the number of degrees in a circle, 360, times the 22%. When I multiply it by the 22%, I do need to change that percent back into its decimal form. Okay, so I'm going to do 360 times 0.22. And I'll ask you guys, anybody that has a calculator handy, 360 degrees times 0.22. Anybody have a calculator nearby that can do that for us?
79.2.
79.2, good job, thank you. I couldn't tell who that was. Who was that? So what did we get? 79.2?
Yeah.
Let's just estimate that to be 79 degrees. And if I could use the degree symbol here, I would, but I'm just gonna write 79 degrees. And so you're gonna kind of estimate that. Now 79 degrees, that's less than 90 degrees, right? I'm grabbing my paper and pencil here. So you guys are gonna do that for each of these. You're gonna figure out how many degrees for the pepperoni, how many degrees for the Hawaiian, which is gonna be 0 degrees, right? How many degrees for the meat lovers, and then for the mushroom and olive, 0 degrees on the ones that didn't have any responses. And you guys are gonna draw as neatly as you can a circle. I'm not looking, so I hope that comes out okay. And then you are going to estimate 79 degrees. And so again, if it was 90 degrees, that would be that right angle, right? Looks kind of like that. But it's less than that because it's only 79 degrees. Okay, so what would 79 degrees look like? And I'm going to share a different screen with you guys because I think that my paper is probably hard for you to see. So I'm going to use my Jamboard, which I can kind of draw on. And I think you guys can see me drawing. Can you guys see that whiteboard with that circle that I just drew? Can you give me a thumbs up if I'm showing you the right screen? Okay, thank you. Okay, and again, I don't want 90 degrees because 90 degrees would be too big, right? I only want to have 79 degrees, which would be a little bit less than 90, right? Not a lot less than 90, but a little bit less than 90. So something like that, okay? And then I want to make sure to show what that is. And I'm gonna even color this in one color. And I'm gonna say that this color here, this color here represents the cheese. And so I'm gonna write out here that cheese, oops, if I could spell, that would be nice. Cheese. And I'm going to write the percent that that is. And if you want to write it directly, oops, percent. If you want to write that directly in the pie graph, you can do that. It's, some of the slivers will be a little small and it will be hard to get it in there. So you could also write it directly in there, cheese, 79%. Okay. And so the idea is you'll do that for each of the different types of pizza. And then you will take a picture of that image and you'll insert it right there. See where, oh, I need to share a different screen with you. And then I am going to insert it right where it says insert image there. And you can just kind of triple click on the insert image and then you can come up to insert. And then you can upload that picture from the computer. You can use photos if you have your computer and your phone connected. You can just take a picture directly right here, and then you probably could even crop it. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Can I do that if I hold this up here and then take a picture, camera, Let's see if this works. Okay, so I've got it up close. I took a picture, I think, and then I just have to insert, and you can see it just drops it right in there. Okay, but again, if you can use one of those scanner apps, that does work a little bit better. Then you don't see, you can see my face, a little sliver of my face there on the side, but that's the idea. Okay, so you're going to finish that whole pie chart. If you can use different colors for each type of pizza, that's even better. And you're going to find the percent for each type of pizza, how many degrees that would be, and then estimate on your chart what that's going to look like. Okay. When you're done with that, you're going to make a bar graph. And you want to make sure that when you do your bar graph, you label your axis. Okay. And I'm going to ask you guys a quick question, and I'm going to ask you to respond in the chat again. What type of data is this? And just reply just privately to me again. Is this quantitative or is this qualitative? Okay, our answers or the type of data are words. So is that quantitative or is that qualitative? And I will remind you that even though we're getting a count for each type, it's the actual, what is it that we're counting? We're counting how many people like cheese, how many people like pepperoni. Okay, so this is tricky, and I can see some people are getting this right, some people are getting it wrong, and some people just don't even know. And so that's kind of why I wanted to do this with you guys. So remember, it's quantitative if it's a quantity or a number, right? And that's referring to the thing that you're actually measuring, the cheese, the pepperoni. Is the cheese, the pepperoni, is that a number? That would be quantitative then. If that is a word, cheese, pepperoni, Hawaiian, if that's a word, then that would be qualitative, all right? So go ahead and change your answer. If you didn't put qualitative, you can write in the chat for me now that you got it. It's qualitative. I heard you. I know, because that's the word cheese. That's the word pepperoni. That's the word Hawaiian, that it's qualitative because it's a word, not quantitative because it's not a quantity, a number. And I know that gets confusing because there are numbers there, right? We counted how many people liked the cheese, but it's the thing that they liked that you're deciding, is that a word or is that a number? Okay, good, qualitative. So the rest of this time now is going to be for you guys to continue to work on this. I'll ask that you guys stay in the Zoom until you're done, or until 9:50 comes along. Okay, so once you have finished and you've clicked submit, I would like you to just stay here in the Zoom and continue to work on that, just like we were in class together and you were finishing an assignment for me in class before the bell rang. Okay, so we're going to keep the Zoom open. You're going to keep your screens on. You're going to keep your faces in the screens as best as you can while you continue to work. And I'm going to mute myself and let you guys just kind of work quietly. And if you need help, just unmute yourself. I do want your videos on still. Remember, you do have to ask permission to turn your videos off. If you need to step away and run to the bathroom, now is a fine time to do it. Just let me know that that's what you're doing. Or if you need to, you know, go get a quick glass of water, that's fine. But again, I do need to see you. So, and let's see, Caitlin, I can't quite see your face in there. Thank you. Does anybody have questions right now, or do you feel like you can continue to work on this? Anybody have a question?
This is due by the end of the period, right?
So if you finish and you've submitted it, you can say, Ms. Grassl, I've submitted it, and I'll check to see if it's done. And if it's done, then you can go ahead and leave. So if you finish before 9:50, you can go. It is due by midnight though. So if you don't finish by the time class ends, then you do have until tonight to finish it. And I do have office hours every afternoon. If you need help on the assignment after class ends, I do have office hours. And so you can come back in at from 3 to 4 o'clock is when my office hours will be every day. So if you need any more help besides the help you get in class, you can come back then. Does that answer your question, Sergio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions, or do you guys feel like you're?
Do we have to do a pie chart for like every number?
So that's a good question, Addison. You're going to put all of them together in a single pie chart. Okay, so I'll share my
Okay.
screen with you guys back to the drawing I was doing on my whiteboard. And you guys are going to have, you know, a different slice for each of the different kinds of cheese. And so let's say we have the pepperoni here. Let's say we have the mushroom and olive here, and so on. I forget what the other kind was that people liked, probably meat. And you're gonna show the percent, and you know, if you can color it in too, that's great. But you're just gonna submit one image with all of them, okay? I don't think I was clear about that, so I'm really glad you asked that question. Okay,
Okay.
so it's one image that has all of them together. And then the same thing, so you really are just attaching two images, one image of the pie chart and then one image of the bar graph. Okay, thanks for asking that. Okay, and again, if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to mute myself and I will wait for your questions.
Oh my God. I realized that I responded to TC when I was meaning to respond to somebody else, so sorry about that, TC. Elijah, to answer your question, yes, it's okay to temporarily turn off your video if you need to use the camera to take a picture of your drawing. You guys, I'm going to ask that if you do turn off your video to take a picture, that you let me know that's what you're doing, please. I have a couple people with video turned off. And like I said, it's okay if you're using that to take your picture, but you always need to ask permission to turn your video off. So you can just send it as a chat to me, that that's what you're doing. And so that way I'll know when I look up and I don't see your beautiful smiling face that, that's what you're doing. And you actually, for now, you don't even have to ask, because I don't want you to feel like you have to wait for me to respond. Just if you could write it in the private chat that you are turning off your video to take a picture, then that's fine. I just expect you to turn your video back on after you take your picture. So again, you don't have to ask permission to turn off your video to take the picture. You just have to tell me that you're turning off your video, and then just make sure you turn it back on when you come back. Thanks. Just a reminder to turn your cameras back on after you take your picture. So TC, I haven't seen you in a little while. Make sure you get your camera back on, please. And Addison, I haven't seen you in a while. Make sure you get your camera back on, please.
So when you're finished, you can go.
I just need to confirm that you have it turned in. So was that Drew that asked?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just make sure you've got it turned in. And it's loading. Okay, so I see your bar graph in there, Drew, but I do need to see your pie chart. I don't see the pie chart in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I finished and turned it in. Can I go?
Let me check on it real fast. Ooh, I like the colors that you have up there in your labels. That's nice. I see that it is done. Addison, the one thing, your camera was off for a while and I wondered if you had deserted me. So make sure you check in and let me know what's going on next time if you have to turn your camera off,
I
okay?
couldn't figure out how to take the photo. It wasn't working.
Okay, just a message to me and I would very much appreciate that, but you're good to go. So you can go ahead and sign off for the day. Thanks. I do want to make sure too that you guys know on your bar graphs, you should include axes, like labels on your axes. And I'll see if I can show you what that looks like. So while you guys go ahead and keep working, and I'm going to draw something up for you on my whiteboard screen here. But make sure you have drawn your axis and that you have, pizza down here. And how many people did we have that had pizza? And then we should have a label over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is number of people. So this is what I mean by label your axis. And then, how do I erase on this? There we go. So this is the type of pizza down here. Type of pizza. I don't know if that's showing up for you guys. I don't think it is. And then you've got your cheese and how many cheese are there. I'm going to come back over to my screen to see how many cheese there were. 4 responses. So, oops. If I have 4 that like cheese, then I'm going to have a bar that goes up to the 4, which you can shade in. And then my pepperoni, how many people like pepperoni? Okay, and I'll have a bar, and I think I had 8 was one of my higher numbers, so I may need to extend this up to show 8, right? And then I'll have a bar that goes up to that. And so what I mean by labeling your axis is the number of people and the type of pizza. Okay, so what's on each axis there? Type of pizza, number of people.
I finished.
Okay, Antonio, let me take a quick look.
I'm done too.
Okay, I didn't catch who that was, so give me just a second. I'm checking Antonio's. Okay, Antonio, you're good to go. And then who was that? Say your name.
Elijah.
Elijah. Let me check on Elijah. And again, everybody make sure you have your axes labeled on that bar graph. Okay, Elijah, you're good to go. Even used color in your graphs. I like it. Everybody do okay figuring out the number of degrees for your pie charts? Kind of using that as an estimate. Because that was the part I would think I was most worried about, was being able to figure that part out.
I turned mine in.
Okay, who was that? That was,
There.
okay, Joey, let me check. And Drew, I think I see that you got both of yours in there now. So Drew, you're okay to go. I looked back at yours. So you are free to go. Okay. Joey, yours is loading. All right. Good. I would say the only thing on your, and you don't have to go back and fix it right now, but make sure your vertical axis is labeled on your bar graph. So I know what that 10, 20, 30 is, because that could be like a frequency count, like it's 4 people, or it could be like a percent, 25%, or so just make sure it's clear what that axis is the next time.
Okay.
But you're good to go.
I finished.
Okay, Eric, let me check on yours real quick.
Turned in yet, but yeah.
Okay, go ahead and click turn in. I think I can still see it even if it's not turned in, if you've got it, the image is uploaded. There we go. All right. Okay, so Eric, the one thing I'll say is I think it was a little bit confusing when I was doing the pie chart for you. It should just be one single pie chart, and all of the pieces of the pie should fit together. So let me show you a quick picture of what I mean by that, because you may not have seen this. So come on, change back. There we go. So all in one pie chart, all of the pieces in one pie chart. So if you could just redraw that and put all of those pieces into a single pie chart, then you'll be good to go. Okay, so fix that and then remember to hit turn in. And let me get everybody's attention real quick, because we are almost at 9:50, and I know you guys probably have other classes to go to, and you probably want to take a little break between classes. So I want to make sure I have everybody's attention. Just a reminder that you need to click turn in when you finish, and that this assignment is due by midnight tonight. And if you do need any help on any of it, whether it's the technology or the math or whatever, I will have office hours open from 3 to 4, and the link to that is just in the classwork tab under the Zoom button. So you are free to go now. So thank you guys for
being on your very best behavior, and I hope that you guys are feeling better about the difference between qualitative and quantitative. And I look forward to seeing your graphs on today's assignment. Thanks for coming today, you guys. Bye-bye.
I'm almost done. I just gotta like type one thing.
Okay, no problem.
I'm just gonna do that and then turn it in.
Sounds good, Jack. I'll go ahead and end the meeting so you don't have to be on screen anymore.
Okay.
And you can turn it in when you're done.
All right. I just finished. So
Okay, awesome. Good job, Jack. Just in the nick of time.
bye.
Bye-bye.